Hi, my class. This is the learning community, and I know you're working hard with Professor Heaney, and you're working hard with me on the discussion boards. But just a reminder to get your introductions in. I'm looking right now at our voice thread, and I don't see any. Now, if you have made a video and put it up on VoiceThread, and you're hearing me say I don't see it, you may get nervous, right? But I talked to the Site Lab today, and they said to make sure to tell you that to redo it if because I'm not seeing any in our class. I have another class with VoiceThread, and I've seen those students, but not ours. So if you took the time already to do a video, make sure you resubmit it and make sure you press save and then submit. If you don't put save and submit, it's not going to come to me, and then it's not going to be in the student gallery. So it's so important to do those two things. At least that's what I was told today. And some students in my other class tried to do voice introductions, just their voice. No, it's a video. This is public speaking, so it's important for you to do the video. I really want you to iron out the kinks for this voice thread, because you need to be comfortable with it, because it's what we're going to be using every single time we have a presentation. And it is a good tool. And it looks like some people have attempted it, and I see that 1, 2, 3, 4 people have, but I'm not seeing anything. And that's because it wasn't save and submit. At least that's what I was told by the VoiceThread people. I mean, the Site Lab people that I spoke to this afternoon. And if you are still having an issue with it, then on Monday, please call the Site Lab and they'll walk you through it. What we're doing for next week is our first presentation. And I have our class right here, so I'm going to go into it. Let's see. I know, is it dark in this room? It's not supposed to be so dark. This should be a little lighter. Ah, there it is. I'm sorry for that. You see, my videos are not perfect either, and I'm not expecting you to be. This is practice. That's why this week, when I wasn't seeing the voice threads come through, I said we need more practice. And this is a new application, so even if you have done it before, it might be a little different than what you've done in the past. And be patient with yourself. But this is partly why we do not have an avalanche of work right now, because we never will in public speaking. We take it nice and slow. Where I know in your other disciplines and in the SER 101, the Intro to Social Welfare with Professor Heaney, you have a lot more work to do. I know that. So we're a good balance, right? And then next week I have, let's see if I can put like this. I have your next voice thread, which is your next presentation, 2 to 5 minutes. And it's your personal commentary, your motivations for choosing the profession. And I see in Professor Heaney's outline, that's what you're going to be doing for her class. And I'm assuming you're going to be writing something for her, and you're going to speak for me. But mine could be a lot more informal than Professor Heaney. Don't forget, Professor Heaney is grading you for the content. I'm just looking at your delivery, and I am well aware that doing this on video is hard. Oral communication can be very tricky when you don't have an audience. When you don't have someone to smile at you and give you feedback, it can be very difficult to do these videos. So you just do the best you can. Although it is important to be able to speak, and video capturing is really our future for so many different ways. We're on Zoom and we don't have our direct audience. We have these little like Brady Bunch little postage stamps of faces. So you're not getting a lot of feedback, and you have to have the confidence to speak clearly. And my presentations, our presentations in this class are always very short. 2 to 5 minutes is the first one. And here are the directions here in our second voice thread. It says, please follow, here's the title, personal commentary, your motivations for choosing the profession. So when you're doing your assignment in week 3 for Professor Heaney, you might find that after you do your values, all those, she's got great exercises. I love your class about your values for you to reflect on who you are and why you want to do this. You might start writing down, brainstorming some ideas, but you might find it helpful to do our assignment first here on VoiceThread we're having a conversation with us. And I want you to still adhere to the 3 parts that they talked about in chapter 1. Every speech has an introduction. Every speech has a body. Every speech has a conclusion. Not so much in your introductions, but in this full-bodied speech. Yeah, you do. Just like an essay, there's always a beginning, a middle, and an end. And right here I say, please follow a simple outline. Introduction. Please say your name and the purpose for speaking today. So you could say, well, I am talking about my motivations for choosing social, I was going to say social welfare, but human services. And my name is Joyce. And that could be your introduction. It doesn't have to be long. And then the body, I say, highlight your main points based on your reflections. And what you say in this presentation could actually be different than what you tell Professor Heaney, depending on when you do it. If you do this first and her second, you might have thought of more details for hers than ours. It's going to be fine. It really is. And the great part is we're going to see each other. We're going to hear each other. We're going to absorb what you say. And peers in the same class can be so inspirational. And it's exciting to have this kind of energy in the room. And then your conclusion, I say, thank your audience for listening and sum up your thoughts. Now, it doesn't have to be a long summary because it's a short speech, but you might say, thank you for listening, and maybe you say 1 or 2 more things, and then you're done. And of course, you always thank your audience for listening, and then it's over, right? And I say this presentation will be based on the assignment in week 3, Human Service Professional, in your SCR 101 course. You need no other research. I just want to hear you speak on this subject. You will be using your written communication skills for your Intro to Social Welfare course, and you will be practicing your oral communication skills in this course. And the key word is practice. No one expects you to be perfect. You know, in written communication, and for some of you, you have more experience. So you realize when you're writing out or encoding a message in the written form, you have your paragraph structure, you have your punctuation, you have your spelling, and you are actually guiding the reader to understand your message. Well, when you're speaking, you have the sound of your voice, you have your posture, you have your pacing, you have the energy. So you have other tools, but you're still guiding your listeners to understand your message. But in written communication, if someone doesn't understand what you say, they can reread it. In oral communication, they can't go back. So don't be afraid to repeat some key ideas. Don't be afraid to say words like transitional phrases like in conclusion or in summary, or even if you say first is this, second is this, third is this. When I taught English for years, if students use transitional words like this in an essay, I would say, there's no reason to do that. The reader can see that that's the end, it's the conclusion. But in an oral presentation, you might find that you like to use those tools. And when you're preparing this, your first formal presentation, realize I am very accepting, and I'm really looking for effort. It doesn't have to be perfect. My videos are never perfect, but they're sincere. And I hope you understand that. This is a class of practice, and it's going to be really cool when everyone in the room gets to hear what you say. And everyone's going to be different, and everyone's going to be valuable. And it's a great feeling to say, yeah, I think this way. You might find out there's a lot of commonality. You never know. I already see commonality in the discussion boards in our class, maybe so in the Intro to Social Welfare. That's what the beauty of a learning community. You can support each other, validate each other, and keep people thinking of, more ideas, more thoughts. What you speak about this week, or next week actually, for this assignment may be different than what you would say after you take the course. After you take Professor Heaney's course, you might add more to it, right? So this is just the beginning. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not looking at your content. I want you to make yourself proud, but you just do an honest response to this assignment on VoiceThread. So I know that we haven't seen any VoiceThreads for introductions yet, but I know the students that have attempted it, just redo this, just redo it, just redo the whole thing, post it again, and as you go through, and again, I can't see the student view, but the Site Lab is saying, make sure the students save and submit, save and submit. So good luck to you. I hope everything is good. This has been a confusing start for a lot of students with online, right? Getting used to me, getting used to Professor Heaney and how she has structured her presentation. So if you hang in there, you should start to feel a little bit more at home, and I hope you do. I've really enjoyed the discussion boards in this class, and I know that you are thinking and you're in it. You're in it to stay in it. So hope everything is good. But on week 3 of our class, you are going to see this here, another voice thread. So practice your introductions, get those out so we can meet you, but also so you can get used to the technology. And don't get discouraged. Every time something is new for me, it takes me a few times to get it right. And I am not going to criticize you at all if you're a little late with your assignments in this class because the technology is so different. But stay on it. Stay on the track. Let me see. Our discussion board is by Amy Cuddy, and she's a social psychologist. She's from Harvard University, and maybe you've seen her presentation before. And it's on how your body language may shape who you are. It's very interesting. I hope you like the ones we had this week as well, especially the one on the introverts, right? I am half introvert, half extrovert, situational, and there are many introverts that have been misunderstood. They're quiet. Quiet is not a bad thing. But in this class, we are using our oral communications skills to be heard. The name of this learning community is to be listened and to be heard. And so we will be talking about both listening and hearing people. So you think it's the same, but it's not always the same. You can hear the sound, but are you really trying to get into what people are saying and understanding the meaning? So I will talk to you again for sure, and I hope you're having a good week. Let's see, this is Friday when I'm doing this. Probably going to put this up on an email tonight, and then this will be also in week 3's right before we do the voice thread for week 3. So you have a voice thread this week and a voice thread next week. So if you hesitate at all, just boldly go through it and get it done. And it doesn't have to be perfect to be perfect.